All right, welcome back to Blue by 90, presented by Mason Brew. I'm Justin, joined by Jack and Kaylin as always, and we've got a very special guest joining us today from the Michigan women's basketball team, Maddie Nolan. Maddie, thanks for joining us. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Of
It's
course,
great.
of
We're
course.
a hoops podcast right now. First time we
Yeah,
have a hooper on here. This is great.
Love it.
absolutely. Yeah, you guys are right in the middle of your season, kind of down the stretch a little bit. So obviously it's going well.
Mhm.
You guys are, this is like the peak of the program. Do
Yeah.
you like ever think about that or talk about that? I mean, I don't want to jinx anything or get anything in your head, but it's kind of crazy.
No, it's insane, and I know me personally, and as well as some others that star like Danielle Roush and Leah Brown. We weren't super highly recruited coming out of high school, so to be on a team that's ranked so highly and setting records in the program is kind of surreal for us. But at the same time, we just try to take it one game at a time. That's what we talked about. So after the Iowa game, don't get too high, don't get too low. We have Michigan State on Thursday, big rivalry game. So just taking it one step at a time and seeing where we get from there.
Yeah, I mean, it's been awesome to watch, and the cool thing too is you guys are getting national recognition, right?
Yeah.
It's obviously National Women's and Girls in Sports was just that day was just the other day, so that was cool to see. A lot of support also from some of the men's sport athletes too. So that was cool too. But you know, obviously we know the it's no secret that women's sports don't get as much recognition as the men's, right? When we talk about the WNBA and the NBA, especially, but it's really cool that you guys are getting national recognition. So, are you ready for the big stage? I know you're probably cool with it, I'm sure, but there is quite a spotlight on you too.
Yeah, there is for sure. And like you said, women's sports don't get the recognition that they deserve. So I think when we are put on ESPN or ESPN2 or even Big Ten Network, we just try to represent the sport the best that we can and showcase our talents and what we've been working on the whole year to try and elevate not only our team, obviously, but just women's sports in general.
Have you had any post game interviews that have been aired after any games?
I had
Anything
one.
embarrassing?
No, nothing too bad. I talked to the press after Maryland game, but it wasn't live. I don't think it was just kind of newspaper people. I know Nas and Leah generally are the big people to talk to
Right.
after games, especially our Baylor game. I think just because our first top five win in program history. They played amazing, obviously, and they're both WNBA draft prospects. So they were getting a lot of that attention. But it's always so cool to see our team doing well nationally, but also the recognition that Nas and Leah get because they are such great teammates and great workers. It's been awesome to play with them.
Yeah, I mean, obviously everybody loves Nas, right? Like it's I mean, it's hard not to though cuz obviously she's an incredibly talented girl, but also she is a great teammate and every time she is on an interview or anything like that, she's always talking about her teammates and stuff.
Yeah.
So what is it like to, I'm sure that you guys have other leaders too, but I would, guess that Nas is probably kind of the go-to in terms of when it comes to leaders for your team. What's it like to have her, as a leader of this team? And, what does she bring to the table outside of just domination on the court?
Yeah. Well, first, I want to give a shout out, obviously, to Nas, but Emily Kaiser and Danielle Rouse are also huge leaders for our team, and their stories are incredible. That they kind of didn't play their first 3 years, really were behind the scenes, and two of the hardest workers I know, and they've really made a name for themselves this year. So they've been huge contributors, and it's not always scoring, but I don't know if you guys have seen the video of Danielle flexing at the Ohio State
Oh
game, but
yeah.
just stuff like that. Yeah, the energy they bring, it's contagious. So they're awesome, but playing with Nas is insane. I think sometimes I almost take it for granted because I've had all of my years getting to play with her. So I can throw some maybe sketchy passes in there and she catches everything that maybe if I throw it to another post player, I'm like, what? But you have to remember Nas is insane talent and almost anything you throw in there is probably going to be 2 points, if not an and one for her. So it's been great on a skill wise to play with her, but off the court, she's just as amazing. She does a lot of like community work with Black Lives Matter last year, but just also making sure everyone's okay. We're all working on what we're supposed to be doing. And I think this year the freshmen talked about her and Danielle would like have kind of individual like meetings with them, not necessarily about basketball, but just going out to ice cream and seeing how they are doing as people. So to have those leaders ahead of me this year makes me think about next year when I'm going to have to be in their position and take what they're doing and try to do that as well as they are.
That's awesome. I mean, you guys are obviously gelling very well, the entire team. I mean, what, you guys are number 4 in the country right now or number 5?
Yeah, somewhere up there. I try not to look too much. Yeah, we're up there.
It's single digits, we know that.
Yes,
but
for sure, yeah.
But to hear that like Naz is, I mean, she's a senior, right?
Yeah.
Hanging out with freshmen, making sure everybody's like doing well, seeing if they need help with anything, and among the other leaders on there too. I mean, that's like you said, great for you to be able to have her lead by example. So when you're in those shoes next year, you can, kind of take that, keep that tradition going. And I don't know, I'm saying it's gonna be, you guys are the next UConn dynasty. KBA is a baller.
Oh, we hope so. Yeah. No, it is nice. And I think that is a part of why we are playing so well, that we genuinely enjoy each other on the court, obviously, but off the court, we gel so well. And it's easy and it's fun coming to practice and knowing that you're fighting for the person next to you. It's easy when you enjoy them.
Yeah, it's not like we've ever talked about energy or team chemistry on this podcast before. But I mean, from your perspective, I mean, have you ever been on a team like that where it's as close-knit as it seems right now?
I think I have been pretty blessed. In my high school team, we had a group of like 6 seniors who had played together since almost middle school. So it's a different type of community there. But I have been super lucky to just be on teams that are consistently cultural. And coming to Michigan or coming to college, you don't know necessarily what it's going to be like. You're a freshman, you're going away from home. But I stepped on campus and I wear that giant knee brace, obviously. And I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to play basketball when I first came to Michigan. I had to do some appointments with the doctors and everything, and I wasn't doing all the workouts and everything, but they still welcomed me with open arms, and I think that's huge because as a freshman, you're like, oh, I want to impress my teammates. I want to show them I'm a hard worker, and me not being able to do all the workouts, I didn't want them to think I was lazy or anything, but they were just as kind to me as they could have been.
And so now, obviously, it's paying off. You're playing pretty well. You put up 17 on whatever day it was against Iowa. Obviously, it was an insanely high-scoring game, too. So that was crazy as well. I don't know if I've seen many men's games in college basketball, both teams in the 90s, let alone a women's game. So it was cool. But I mean, you were in there drilling threes right from the get-go. I think you started 2 for 2, so you're hot from the get-go. Has it felt like you are just, feeling in the zone a little bit this year? What's like, I feel like you've definitely broken out this year as a fantastic shooter. What's been different this year for you than your first couple years?
Yeah, I think a huge part is confidence. You're upperclassman. I'm an upperclassman now. Knowing that my teammates and my coaches have that trust in me, that confidence in me. And I talked about it with someone else a couple days ago, but I think in practice last week, there was a practice where I could not make a single shot, and I was obviously frustrated. But everyone I'd come off, they'd give me high fives, like, you're going to make the next one. We have full confidence in you. And even if I brick one or airball one in practice, they're like, whatever, like, we've seen you make enough now that you're going to hit most of your shots that you take. So having confidence for my teammates and my coaches, but also in the work that I've put in over the past however many years I've been playing basketball and leaning on that, just to know that I'm capable of knocking down shots and to see them go in this year in games, I think has also just propelled me.
So did that Maddie Nolan, did that nickname start this year, or was that going last year too?
It started actually my freshman year at the Big Ten tourney. I think it may have been our Northwestern game. I only had like 13 points, but I think I was like 5 for 6 or something in that rate. It was efficient. And the announcer was like, Maddie Nolan. So
Oh, no way.
but we've just kind of been running with it this year, obviously. So yeah, it's been cool though.
That's funny. I feel like normally like all those like cool nicknames are like like an inside joke between teammates or like some random teammate or like coach comes up with it. But the fact the announcer did it, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, and I was asking our like social media person, like where did this come from? Like, am I allowed to use it places? Like, is it whatever? I don't know all the rules about things like that. But she's like, no, like we were talking about it. They do their pregame like meetings with the announcers, and I guess someone must have said it to her, and she used it that game because I was knocking down shots. So it just kind of stuck from there.
That's awesome.
It's a great name. I have to admit, it's a fantastic name. So Maddie Nolan, and here's the thing is we're about to drop some shirts with it. So that's going to be the coolest thing. So if you go to blueby90shop.com, you can grab the Maddie Nolan shirt on there. And proceeds go to Maddie too. So she's one of our Blue by 90 athletes, which is awesome. We're so glad to have you on there. So go grab that shirt. I mean, that's going to be a hot seller. I can already tell. People are going to be rocking that in Crisler for the rest of the year, and in the Big Ten tournament and in the tournament too. So it's going to be fun.
I was excited. I was like, I feel like this name is too catchy to not have on a shirt somewhere. Like, so thank you guys for making that happen. I'm really excited for it to drop.
I'm pumped to see it on TV.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Can you? We need you rocking it. Like, can you rock it when you walk into the arena? Do you guys do like? You should do like how the NBA does, like the fits when they walk in. You got to do that too.
Yes, that would be sick. Coach Rico's actually really big on matching, especially for away games. So I don't know, but I'll try to get like a post game fit and post it or something like that. That'd be sick.
Well, KBA, whether she knows it or not, her and I are very good friends. So maybe we'll be able to get the whole team up with the Maddie Nolan jerseys or little shirts. So everybody's wearing them.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have to. That was like the best part of when we've done shirts for, like, we did Money Moody for Jake Moody too, and then like all the other guys on the team were wearing it too. So it's cool to see the teammates support as well. I mean, the other thing that we haven't touched on either is you got KBA. Really, she has been just a phenomenal coach. Obviously, been here for how many years has she been here? It's been what, 10 plus?
10, 11, around that range. Yeah.
All right, and so I mean, for her to build this program to what it is now, I mean, let's be honest, what it was when she came in was just not a great program, right? It was nothing like it is now. So for her to build this up has just been phenomenal. Talk about what KBA means to you and means to this program too.
Yeah, so I had a very interesting recruiting process, actually. They recruited me, and my teammate and classmate, Michelle Cedar, committed. So we were kind of the same position. So they eventually they're like, we don't have any more scholarships for you. So I eventually committed to Miami of Ohio. And their coach ended up leaving. Coach Duffy, who actually used to coach here, lots of connections, very crazy. Wow. She ended up going to Marquette. So I opened up my recruitment at the end of my senior year, and was taking visits and came to Michigan. And this was after I had hurt my knee. So I'd played probably 5 games my senior year, and who knows after knee surgery what you're going to be like, what kind of skill, or if you're ever going to be back to the level that you were playing at before. But Coach Rico still offered me a scholarship and kind of took this chance on me that maybe a lot of other schools wouldn't have, especially at the Power 5 level, and seeing her vision of what she wanted to build to where we are now. So I'm always grateful for her, and I've told her that a couple times now, just because it's always been my personal goal to play at the Power 5 level. So first of all, just grateful for that, but to take a chance on a kid with a severe knee injury and just believe in me. And my freshman year, like I said, when I wasn't always practicing or doing things, she would always comfort me, like, like, you're going to be okay. Like, just keep doing your rehab. And she trusted in me. And obviously I trusted in her with her vision for me. So I'm just eternally grateful for that opportunity that she's given me here.
So do you remember the first time you met KBA? What was that experience like?
Yeah. Oh, I remember my AAU coach used to like they text you like, "Oh, this coach wants to talk to you, so give him a call," or stuff like that. And so to get a call from like Michigan, I think at the time, so they had Caitlin Flaherty and Hallie Thome, and they were ranked probably like top 20 for sure. I was like, "Oh my gosh, like I'm gonna get recruited by a top 20 team. Like this is a kid." I had mostly like mid-major offers, so that was insane for me. But then I just remember I came up for a game, and after the game, I talked to her, and she was like, "Yeah, we want to offer you a scholarship." So obviously, that excitement was crazy, and just you could tell how well she knows the game of basketball. Like her IQ is insane. I feel like you have to as a head coach, but just talking with her, and my parents were coaches, so they know the game well. So obviously, that we clicked on an IQ level too.
Was she pretty intense, or was she? Did she have any like fun side to her when you were talking to her?
No, she's definitely fun. She's a great recruiter. Knows how to hype the kids up. I think this summer we did a lot of photo shoots with our recruits, so she's always in there taking goofy pictures with them. But really good at connecting with people on a personal level too, and getting to know not only them but like their families and asking about their families and stuff like that. So that was really meaningful to me too.
The reason I ask is I remember the first time I met KBA.
Huh.
She came into Orange Theory and
Oh
bought
yeah,
memberships for it was Joy McCorvey and Duffy when they were the
yes,
assistant coaches. And I was working there and like she was like talking to me. I'm like, this lady's fucking intense. Like, who
yeah.
is this lady? And I think after like maybe the third or fourth time I had talked to her, she kind of loosened up and opened up and cracked a little smile. But I was terrified of her for probably about 3 months.
Yes, that makes. I feel like when you're recruiting, you gotta be
You got to
more
put your best face on, yeah.
for sure.
Is she like that? And so now obviously you're past the recruiting stage,
Yes.
right? So she doesn't have to like suck up to you anymore
No.
to get you to come to Michigan. So when you go into practice, then is it like just straight to it, or is she hardcore, or what is she like in practice too?
I think there's a mix. And she does a good job because obviously as a coach you need to connect on that personal level with your players so they do want to run through that brick wall for you, but at the same time you need to get stuff done in practice and hold them to a certain standard. So when we're not at that standard, she definitely demands excellence of us, and I think that's why we're at the point that we are. But she constantly wants to talk to us to see how we're doing outside of basketball, and just ask about our families. So my brother plays football at Air Force actually, and one of her family friends' sons plays there too. So they kind of got connection with that, which was cool that she cared so much about my brother, who I think she probably met once. Just make sure check in on him and make sure he's doing okay and things like that. So there definitely is a balance of the fun side, but like we have things that we want to accomplish, and this is how we're going to get there, not by slacking off, but by demanding excellence from us.
What's the most scared you've ever been of her?
Oh man, probably there's not like one specific time I guess that stands out in my head, but like when you have a turnover, I think just anyone on the team, because we like harp on that a lot. Like obviously more possessions you have, the more successful you can be in a game, but my heart just drops a little bit. It's not always necessarily that she like yells at me or says anything, but you just know like you let her down, and that's almost worse than her like yelling at you, at least for me.
Yeah,
She's not mad. She's just disappointed.
right.
Right, exactly.
What's the funniest thing that she's ever done in practice or at any time?
I think it's so funny when she like hits she does the whoa sometimes. And I think at Michigan Madness she like came out of the tunnel and like hit the whoa, and it just kills me every time because, yeah,
Gotta love KBA
to you guys, but it's hilarious.
She does crack me up when she rocks the J's on the sidelines too. Like
Yeah.
everything else about her outfit is very professional. Then she tops it off with J's on her feet. It's awesome.
You
I don't
have
know. Those glasses are there too. They're top tier. I mean, that's her look.
Yes, and with like the cutoff sleeves, she's like super muscular, super fit.
Yeah.
She's got to show off the muscles for sure. Yeah, that's what when I was being recruited by Michigan, my parents like, look at her, like she's rocking the tank tops, like that's sick. So yeah.
And so okay, so you guys just beat Indiana as well in like the first top 10 matchup, probably ever at Crisler Arena, I imagine.
Yeah.
Which was awesome. And you're from Indiana. I don't know if you were recruited by them or have any ties to Indiana. Did that win mean anything to you? Anything more?
Yes, like you said. I mean, first top 10 Crisler matchup in women's basketball history. And we have 5 Indiana kids on our team. Some of us were recruited by them. Some of us weren't. I was not recruited by them. So you kind of hold that game to a little higher standard for sure. And I know Leah Brown and I talk about, you got to play with emotion, but not emotional. So you got to keep your emotions in check during that game. And I think last year we did a poor job of letting our emotions get the best of us. But this year we came in, we knew what we were capable of doing. And it was definitely super cool to beat them. And obviously a huge game, not only for us, but for our team to take a hold of the Big Ten standings. So I think that was more so in our minds than it being IU, I guess.
Do you have any friends on that team that you were playing against?
No, they don't have very many Indiana kids.
Really?
Surprisingly, they had a couple in my grade, but they ended up transferring out. And I was friends with those kids, but they don't go there anymore.
Interesting.
Trouble in Bloomington.
But obviously, they're a great program. But yeah. So.
Are you saying there's a scandal that might come out in Bloomington?
Oh no!
Is Maddie our new source for drama and rumors?
No, they do things obviously, as you see. But
very good political answer there. Good work. You've been trained well. Yeah. So all right. So let's go back to the team though. You've obviously got a lot of personalities too. I want to hear like who's like the class clown. I kind of have a feeling it might be you.
Connor
for sure. Me and Michelle. So that's why you go back to when she committed. We kind of talk about like it was a meant to be thing because we are like clowning around together, and they used to call us Disney freshman year because we were so like immature and we'd mess around a lot. But yeah, no, us two are pretty bad. But I mean, everyone is like Ari is super funny on our team, and everyone can crack jokes. But Michelle and I are definitely the most consistent ones.
Have you ever gone a little too far across the line, like while in practice or a workout or something, and you're like, oh shit, I probably shouldn't have said that?
Sometimes I try not to stand super close to Michelle sometimes in practice. I just like sometimes we'll just say stuff and crack up, but there hasn't been really a time, I guess, on the court. Sometimes off the court we're like probably supposed to be a little more serious than we are and are cracking jokes to each other when maybe we need to be quieter. But it hasn't been super bad by any means.
All right, that's good. That's good. I can just tell by your personality here that it can probably be a little infectious, I imagine.
Yeah. I would say so. I mean, yeah, we have fun as a whole team, and I don't know, we don't really get to see it, I guess, behind the scenes, but Danielle has been trying to hit the gritty, which has been probably the funniest thing I've ever watched. We were making a TikTok the other day with not everyone on our team, but people on our team who were in the locker room, and she'll post it probably eventually, but it was mine isn't much better, but she consistently like shoot around like after the game in the huddle is like trying to hit it, and it's
just not there.
That's what I need to see from KBA. That's what I need to see from KBA.
Oh God,
see KBA hit the gritty.
All right, we'll try to teach her, and maybe she can hit it tomorrow.
Right after the win, gritty on Sparty logo.
That would be
there you go. that would cause some controversy for sure.
Oh yeah,
for sure. Wait, so are you on TikTok then? Is this are all the girls trying to do the gritty or dance on TikTok then?
I'd say there's a few of us on TikTok. I definitely don't take it seriously. We have a couple teammates who try to go viral and do all the hashtags and stuff like that. That's fine. I'm just there making random dances, and just watching for hours, which is ridiculous. But
Yeah, you can get lost on there pretty quick.
yes,
easily.
for sure.
Easily. What's your best video then? Have you gone anything close to viral?
Oh no, not at all. My TikTok name is literally like Danielle Roush fan page because it's just a joke. It has nothing, no post of Danielle at all, but it's just
That's hilarious. Oh man. I mean, the fun thing about you guys too is obviously you're a very good team, but you do have such big personalities too. I feel like you guys had, people are drawn to you and so likable, which has drawn a ton of people to your games too. I've been to multiple games this year for you guys. It has been rocking. The Indiana game was rocking. The Iowa game was rocking. What is it like now to be like playing in front of, essentially full Crisler Arena?
Yeah, and usually we get those for Michigan State games, rivalry, which is always nice. But to have it on those games like that are on ESPN and that are top 25, top 10 matchups, it's a difference maker. And we've had to play in those hostile environments at Louisville and at Nebraska and at other Big Ten schools, and it totally shifts the energy. And when we go on a run and we can hear everyone, we can hear the maze rage, we can hear our fans screaming, it kind of like energizes us. And even when things necessarily aren't going well, we still can feel like their energy for us and like work on getting a stop or going on a run of our own. So it's been huge, and we hope that it continues throughout the rest of our season.
Do you guys have some like diehard fans that are outside of family members, just like random people that just like show up to every game?
Yeah, for sure. And we have a girl, her name is Gracie, who's almost at every game, sits courtside with her parents, and she's been there since my freshman year, I'm sure even before that, but she's a little super fan. We always give her high fives before the game, have her pass us the ball into a shot. So her and just a bunch of others, we're so grateful for them that have been our like consistent supporters throughout. And sometimes they'll like respond to like a tweet about us and be like, "Oh, go Maddie, da da da," and you see it. It warms your heart for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
There's definitely some diehards. I've seen the same people through and through there, so it's good. It's good for sure. And the cool thing about it, I don't know if people know this about the women's tournament, is that you guys have the chance to play some tournament games at home, correct? Yeah. So we can, come in and give you guys an insane environment for a tournament game, which will be super fun.
That'd be it's definitely a goal of ours. It's top 4 seeds, and women's get to host the first 2 rounds. So that's a goal of ours, obviously, going forward, to get one of those seeds, because it is a difference maker, like I said, to have those fans behind you and to know that they're not going to be cheering against you if you had to play somewhere else. So yeah, that's definitely a goal of ours. And obviously, being the NCAA tournament, March Madness, people would show up, I would think, hopefully.
Oh, hell
definitely. Yeah. If they're showing up now, they're going to show up then for sure. So, yeah. And so I was just pulling it up. So down the stretch here, you guys have you've got Michigan State. So this is going to air, Wednesday? This is going to air on Friday. So you'll already have played Michigan State. Then you've got Northwestern, and then Maryland comes to town on the 20th, and that's going to be a top 15 game too. So that Sunday 3 p.m. game, I feel like that one's going to be packed too.
I think so, and it's Dollar Day.
Ooh,
yeah.
What does that mean? $1 dogs? $1 what?
I want it to be the dollar hot dogs, but it's definitely dollar admissions, and I don't know. There's got to be something for $1 at the concessions for sure, but. Yeah, we have a nice little stretch here. I think we have probably one of the hardest schedules overall in the Big Ten. So just trying, like I said earlier, taking it one game at a time, starting with Michigan State tomorrow, and going forward from there is going to be huge for us to finish out strong.
We got to find out about
beers.
We know that. So. But we got to find out if there's $1 dogs. If there's $1 dogs, I mean, I'll be there, but that'll, maybe I'll get there a little bit earlier.
For sure.
We'll do like a live eating competition, hot dog competition in the stands.
There you
go. And then you guys end you just beat Iowa like we talked about, and you end the year with Iowa too. Yeah. And I'd be remiss if I did not mention Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
She put on quite the show, and obviously you guys won the game, which is, the ultimate goal. But I feel like you had to have a little bit of appreciation too for she put up 46 points and was putting up logo shots. It's like,
Yeah.
You have to appreciate, her her playing that well too.
Yeah, no, it was insane. And I was in the back of the press, and they were up there double and triple teaming her, hands in her face, and a shot would go up, and I'm like, okay, let me block someone out. Like, I got to get this rebound. And they would just swish in. I was like, okay, it's fine. Like, we just got to go, like, just play our game. Because I think there was still 4-ish minutes left when she started doing that. So, obviously, a lot of time. But just going back down, we didn't need necessarily to take a quick shot. And I think Layla Filia did a great job of, we kept running up ball screen action for her and just being composed in crunch time and scoring when she needed to. But yeah, Caitlin Clark was insane. And I think it is huge for women's sports. I think she was posted probably on almost every major sporting
for sure.
Which sucked because it looked like we were like great defense, but she was just taking shots. But for people to see that and to see the skill that women's basketball players do have, I think is great to grow the sport in the future for sure.
Yeah, the funny I like that you mentioned that there was like 4 minutes left in the game because I saw her take that shot. I'm like, oh, it's a buzzer beater, and I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, I'm pretty sure there's like still 20 seconds left on the shot clock. Like there's 3 minutes left in the game. I'm like, jeez.
Yeah, and she does that like in other games too, which is insane that she can consistently hit shots like that.
Oh yeah,
it was crazy. It was honestly one of the craziest things I've ever seen because we're all just like in the stands like, what is going on, basically. Yeah. And then, like you said, like all of a sudden you guys are trading 2s for 3s and the lead's going down and we're all just like, oh my God. But, I think what's cool is last year, Nas put up 50 against Ohio State, but you guys lose that game.
Right.
Now, this year somebody can put up 46 on you, but you guys win that game. Do you feel like it's a little bit different for you guys this year where it doesn't really matter about individual accomplishments? You guys are just trying to win as a team.
Yeah, and that is a thing we talk about a lot. Obviously, so cool that Nas put up 50 and LeBron shouted her out. And obviously, it was insane. But at the same time, there was like a feeling in our gut like we wanted to win that game, and obviously it would have meant more for Nas to get 50 points and to win the game. So yeah, I've been thinking about that a lot. Like, you can score however many points, but at the end of the day, like, whose team is going to win, who has the better team. And you see that this year with us. Obviously Nas is usually the leading scorer, but we've had a couple games where maybe Leah's taken over, Layla's taken over, and Nas doesn't care. Okay, do that.
You're too humble.
And Nas couldn't care less as long as we get the win. So she's just doing everything she can. A thing comes to mind like the Maryland game, and there's a couple videos out there of I think she had 9 or 10 points, and she usually scores 20, obviously, but she was making hustle plays. Like a girl got a steal, and Nas was in the back line and sprinted down the court and got a block on the girl's layup that could have easily been 2 points if Nas didn't try and get it. So just the way that she affects the game when she's not even scoring is also insane.
And I think Emily Kaiser too has made such an impact this year because now, teams can't just double team Nas and that's it, right? Like Emily Kaiser has come in and made a real impact. She takes the defenders away from Nas, and then when they do double Nas, Nas has done a great job of keeping her eyes up and passing the ball and getting it to Emily. So it is really cool. You obviously mentioned her and Danielle, at the beginning of the podcast here, but it is really cool to see them, feeding off of Nas. And obviously Nas is going to get hers, right? We all know that. But Nas has done a great job of when teams, focus on her, she spreads the wealth. And I feel like it's made you guys a better team because of it.
Oh, for sure. And I think that's something we worked on as a team this year. Like, we know Nas is going to get double and triple teamed, but being able to pass out of that, or even Nas can score still with 2-3 people on her, which just is insane. But yeah, Emily's been huge. And on the offensive side, she's capable of knocking down 15-footers, 3-pointers, and does a great job of cutting or ball screening when her defender's low, which makes a difference for us because now there's not a hedge or a soft support. So just finding where she can help the team when she's also maybe not necessarily scoring, and she's huge on the defensive end too. There has to be a stat somewhere. She probably takes almost a charge a game, which is insane. Like she probably has to lead the NCAA in charges, but her defense has been crazy, and just the help that she provides, and it's awesome.
We got to talk about you now. Enough about us. She gets enough attention as it is. So, what's your career high? Do you know?
At Michigan, I think it's like 21-ish, I would say, around that.
All right. Were you just feeling it that day? Was that the 5 for 6 day or what?
No, I think it was the Maryland game. I had made like 7 threes, and at Wisconsin last year, I made a couple threes, and I had like a steal or two for a layup. But yeah, like you said, teams are doubling Nas, and so my defender would help on Nas, and my teammates did a great job of just getting it to me and just an open three. So.
Do you have like a 3 celebration? I think you need to come up with some Maddie Nolan celebration or something.
That would be insane. Usually I just like point at the person who passed it to me, like give them creds, like thanks for the pass, and run down and try and play defense so I don't get too jumbled up, get scored on, and then now I'm in trouble for getting scored on and not paying attention.
Yeah, I don't want us to be like the reason. Man. All of a sudden you come up with this brand new celebration, and then it's like KBA's like nobody can talk to those guys again because Maddie's just getting dunked on now.
Oh man.
Oh, that'd be good. Maybe it's just something little, something
little one. Yeah, I'll work on it.
Yeah, there you go. It'll be cool to watch you guys down the stretch here, though. I mean, you guys are getting so much attention now at Michigan, which is just it's not normal. Like to be honest, it's not normal, which is so cool. It's something that I feel like is probably deserved for years now, and so it's just coming to fruition. And so I'm excited for what's to come here down the stretch and for you guys to be on ESPN, Big Ten Network, all those networks too. Do your parents come to every game, or are they, I assume they're still in Indiana?
Yeah, they're still in Indy. I'm from Zionsville, which is about 4 hours from here. So at least one of them makes every game, and even the away games, they've come to most of them. I think Nebraska, that's like 10 hours from my house, so they didn't make that one. But every other game they even traveled to Iowa last year. And my grandpa comes to most of them too, which is nice. So it's definitely nice to know your people are in the stands after the game and be able to give them a hug, whether you played good or bad, to know that they're supporting you.
And your mom is like an all-star.
Yes.
So I'm on your bio right now. She played basketball at New Mexico State in the 80s and she graduated as the program's all-time leading scorer. So
yes.
Oh wow.
Those are big shoes to fill.
They are, yes. She was a post player, so she jokes with me like I have the 3-point line so I can score more points than her. But she was great. And growing up, her and my dad coached high school basketball, so I was in the gym. I think my mom said like 2 months after I was born, they were bringing me to practice. So a classic Indiana kid, right? You grew up around basketball, the outdoor hoops. But yeah, to be able to have parents that understand the game and are to be around kids, even though they're high school kids and maybe their commitment level isn't the same as some other kids, but to watch them play and learn from them, I think was super helpful in my experience.
Can you who's the best athlete in the family? Do you have brothers and sisters or no?
Yeah, my brother plays at Air Force, but
oh, that's right. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good. It's me. This might be kind of bad, but in high school they used to call my brother Maddie's brother.
And he plays football at Air Force, so he's got to be a pretty good athlete.
Yeah, it was funny. His like freshman year, he was still kind of like short, a little chunky. He really hadn't hit puberty yet, so we're 2 years apart. So I was a junior when he was a freshman. That's when we made like our state tournament run, and when I got offered by Michigan, so it was kind of like the peak of my athletic time in high school at least. And he's still like trying to make the freshman like football team. So there's like a funny Twitter account one of his buddies made about him and like me just jarring back and forth, but it was a good time in high school, and he took it well. And obviously has gone on to be really successful
That's
in his
funny.
right. So that was cool.
That's funny.
Poor kid.
And-
Never stood a chance.
Yeah, no, he had to go to the Air Force, and he's like, "Yeah, I got to stand out here, do something to outshine Maddie."
You
So,
got to show you how tough he is now. He's at a service academy.
Yeah.
Probably because he had his older sister beating up on him.
This will show him.
Yeah, exactly. And so you broke your mom's record too at Zionsville. Geez,
Yeah.
that's like kind of rude of you, to be honest.
Yes, I broke it my junior year of high school, so that was also
Wait,
kind of
what? Hold on. So you surpassed her big time.
yeah. Well, it ended up not being as big because I didn't get to play my senior year because of my injury. But
Right.
it was after I beat her my junior year, it was like probably close to the end of the season. I was like messing with her and stuff like that. After she talks about the 3-point line and stuff like that. It was cool. So I feel like not a lot of kids get to play at the same high school that their parents did.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a special moment for sure.
No, that's
So are you
that's
still the leading scorer?
I'm
all time
actually
at
not.
Zionsville?
The bio's wrong. I'm like second leading scorer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. We got to talk to the SID here.
I know. I'll talk to Sarah. No, it's okay.
Van Meter. Come on,
We
girl.
got to talk to Sarah. She's got to get her shit together here.
Dang.
We'll talk to her for you. Don't worry. Actually, we got to keep it up. It makes you sound way cooler. So.
It does sound cooler.
You got a state title on there, All-State Indiana All-Star, leading scorer. Yeah, you got a lot on there. There you go. All right. Well, we appreciate you coming on. So the Maddie Nolan shirts coming out today they'll come out when this podcast is released on Friday. So you can get them at blueby90shop.com. Again, proceeds benefit Maddie. So she's got she's a Blue by 90 athlete. We got her on NIL here, so we're excited about that. So I honestly cannot wait to rock one of those in Crisler. It's going to be so much fun here down the stretch for you. But where can people follow you at as well?
Yeah, on Instagram, Maddie13in, and then I think my Twitter is like Maddie Nolan 20. So, yeah.
There you go. And
So you haven't changed your Twitter name to Maddie Nolan yet?
No.
Oh, you should.
Maybe that should be a next step for me. Yeah.
There you go. Really embrace it.
We got to grow your brand. I think we're going to be a big part of growing your brand.
I think so. Yes.
we've got big ideas over here for you.
I love it.
And then on TikTok at Danielle Roush. So follow her there as well.
Oh my God.
We're gonna have to have Danielle on here after you too.
Yes.
So
Oh my gosh, it would be so funny.
Oh my God. All right. Well, go follow her and go grab the Maddie Nolan shirt at blueby90shop.com. And you can follow us at Blue by 90 on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We're on the Maize and Brew YouTube page as well. And we are on their podcast network too, where all their podcasts are. We appreciate you guys listening. Go Blue.
Go Blue.
Yeah.
Go Blue.